The president or CEO, correction, the president and CEO of CBS News, Wendy McMahon, has stepped down amid escalating tensions inside the network over a $20 billion lawsuit filed by U.S. President Donald Trump. The U.S. leader has accused CBS of interference in the, 2024 election and favoring his Democrat opponent, Kamala Harris. What's going on here? Well, McMahon, who was appointed to her post in August 2023, tendered her resignation on Monday as CEO of CBS News and Stations, explained that the company and I do not agree on the path forward. The resignation stems from Trump's $20 billion lawsuit against the network, which centers on the October 2024 interview with Harris. The then vice president and Democrat nominee, the network released two widely different versions of the conversation, one which featured a convoluted and vague response about the Middle East policy, while the other was much more clear-cut and concise. Trump called the interview a word salad and accused CBS of deliberately editing Harris's remarks to make her look better ahead of the 2024 presidential election. While the network admitted to editing the interview, it insisted that the changes were made for clarity and our standard journalistic practice. While Trump's lawsuit is widely seen as a long shot in court, it is reportedly viewed as a significant liability impending the merger of Paramount Global, CBS parent company, with Skydance Media, which requires federal approval. Paramount is said to be weighing a legal settlement with Trump over the lawsuit to avoid further delays. McMahon's resignation follows that of Bill Owens, a top producer at CBS 60 Minutes, who quit in late April, citing a loss of journalistic independence, both reportedly opposed to the settlement. Oh my goodness. And now the Democrats are extremely pessimistic about their future, too. The Democratic Party is so big, they don't have a unifying voice. So not only is Wendy McMahon stepping down, but the Democrats are pessimistic, too. Shout out to Case Study QB. Let's play this.
It's no secret that the Democratic Party is in a bit of a rut. A recent AP poll had just 35% of Democrats optimistic about the party's future. These are actual Democrats, not the entire country. A new Time magazine cover piece talked to several Democratic lawmakers that agree the party kind of needs a rebrand, but uncovered some disagreement on exactly what that looks like. Some want more pragmatic policies, like Minnesota Congresswoman Angie Craig, who said, I've heard some folks say it's not our policies, we just have to communicate better. It actually is our policies that swing state voters aren't with us on. Meanwhile, Texas Congressman Greg Kasar is pushing for a more progressive form of economic populism. He said the Democratic Party needs to make as our central message that our goal is to break the unholy alliance between corporate greed and corrupt government. Joining me now on set is Jasmine Wright, reporter at Notice, former New York Democratic Congressman Joe Crowley, and Republican strategist Doug Heye. So Jasmine, for the last 6 months, Democrats have been saying that they need a brand overhaul, but it doesn't seem as though they're on the same page as to exactly what that overhaul is.
And that's why that overhaul is not happening. I mean, the Democratic Party is so big and they just don't have a unifying voice to tell them which way to go. And so you have all of these smaller members trying to say, go this way, but it's not working. And I think you're seeing that reflected not just in polls, but just how people are feeling. I mean, I know we're kind of past those town halls where people were kind of screaming at both the Republicans and the Democrats, but we're going to see that again when the next recess happens, because still the folks who I talk to across the country are not happy with the Democrats. They're not feeling that they're pushing back enough on what Trump is doing in office.
Is part of that because they're in the minority that it's hard to find a unified leader to get behind? Because
there was a chance if Bernie actually had a backbone and a spine, he could have been that unifying leader. But remember, the party is owned. The party is owned. The party is owned. So the Democrats really don't have anything to really speak about, do they?
You really don't have any power?
Yeah, I think I think that there are a lot of fathers for this fault, to be quite frank. But I think the reality is that they're really just waiting. And by they, I mean the Democrats are just waiting to see what their message is to run on for 2026. And maybe that will be the unifier, not just a singular person.
I don't know. I guess maybe, Medicare for all, student debt forgiveness, strong economic policies, a rise in wages, fighting for our environment, clean air, clean water, clean soil, affordable housing, investing into our infrastructure, ending the wars. I mean, those are things to run on.
But, voters want to hear something now.
Yeah. And Joe, when I think about what Democrats are against, that's pretty easy. Going all the way back to 2016, you can say they're against Trump. It's been a little bit harder to define what they're for. Is that going to be one of the central questions they're going to have to answer in 26 and 28 and beyond?
I think it's a residual for the last election, actually. I think that Democrats, we have a tendency to get behind every issue. That's the perception. But we're also perceived as standing for nothing. And I don't think that's fair. I just think that that's how that's been perceived. I think it's reflective in the poll numbers as well. But I believe in Angie Craig's positioning on this. I do think we have to, winning middle America is not like winning New York City, Chicago, or LA or San Francisco. It's a completely different world. And what I would suggest is this. We don't necessarily need to have a person, although I think that's starting to take shape now with the primary already starting for 2028 and more. We have to win these individual districts. All politics is local. And so, look, it'd be better if we had that person we could rally behind. But at the same time, we have to go out and we have to win those seats. And the messaging has to be clear. And I think it should be, affordable housing. It needs to be lower health costs. It has to be about national security. And you can incorporate into that the border. So I think
there's a lot you can incorporate. But here's the thing. The Democrats had a lot working for them back in the day. And Great Battalion says, like Jimmy Dore says, as a Democrat, I'm tired of being humiliated by the Democrats. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, who isn't? Who isn't being tired? But again, just remember, CBS and CNN, especially CBS, I mean, they edited that interview.
The head of CBS News, Wendy McMahon, announced this morning that she would leave the network. In a statement, McMahon said, quote, "It's become clear that the company and I do not agree on the path forward. It's time for me to move on and for this organization to move forward with new leadership." Now, this move comes one day after the season finale of 60 Minutes, the network's marquee program. It's at the center of a $20 billion lawsuit filed by President Trump over an interview with Kamala Harris last fall. CBS's parent company, Paramount, has been in talks to settle the suit ahead of a potential acquisition.
Yes, so great. Awesome. Lawrence Fine, it's okay to hate both parties at the same time. Jimmy, yeah, no, you can hate them both. We can hate both parties at the same time because both parties are run by oligarchs. And at the same time, too, the same people who control our politicians control our media. I mean, if it was very clear, because I can't play it because we'll get hit with copyright, 60 Minutes, of course. But that interview that Kamala did, there's 2 different interviews that came out. It was edited. No wonder she couldn't do the Joe Rogan interview because, first of all, can I be clear on this? Can I be very clear on this? Everybody watching here, everybody's seeing this right now. Let me be clear. Let me be clear. My lovelies, my mornings, my sunshines, you beautiful, lovely people. She couldn't do that interview with Joe Rogan because the real Kamala can't do a real interview. Simple as that. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. That was it. So what do I have to say to somebody like the Democrats or CBS? You can't be authentic. So no wonder corporate media is hemorrhaging views because it's all a lie. No wonder the Democrats don't have an identity because it's all a lie. They're all scum. They're all failures and they lack accountability. So brilliant move, Democrats. Keep on losing over and over again. And of course, with corporate media falling apart, remember, they want that settlement. They want that settlement with Donald Trump so they could focus on turning more of their media into more of a conglomerate. One day, all these big companies are just going to go poof, burst like a bubble. And then the second renaissance of creativity will happen. Maybe a new age of real journalism will happen. I hope I'm there to witness it. Truly, I am, because what we have right now just doesn't work.